saying congratulations on the album. I've had a chance to sit down and listen to the whole thing, and it's an amazing album, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm really stoked that it's finally out, because now I can listen to it on Spotify instead of trying to, like, get it from Joel Grind, like I have been doing.
It has been such a long process for you guys, because of course you started the album before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. How frustrating was that for you guys, for the pandemic to have hit just after you started working on the album?
It was more, that was kind of a blessing, to be honest, because we had more time to work on it and just get it done and get it out, or like get it finished, like, you know, get the songs written and completed. But once it was done, that's more where the pandemic interfered, as far as like getting the record pressed and like getting in queue from all the other bands that finished records. And so if anything, the whole pandemic and when the shit hit the fan, it just gave us time to write a better record, start over, just kind of fix all the stuff and put a little bit more thought into it. But where it fucked us up was actually just like getting the record out. And just like I said, like the vinyl's still not out. Like that's not going to be out till September, which is frustrating. But that's where the pandemic really fucked people over, is like vinyl and stuff. And also a lot of people died.
Yeah. Like, have you been unfortunate enough to have COVID yourself? Because I've had it here. Have you had it yourself, or have you managed to escape it so far?
Well, I live in Florida, so I've gotten it. I get it like once every few weeks.
Yeah.
No, I've gotten it twice, unfortunately. But yeah, and I always get it. Like, I think the last time I got COVID was on the way home from a tour. Like, I think I caught it on the plane.
Yep.
Coming home, because nobody else on the tour got it. And I proceeded to go to a family graduation, and I think I gave about like 8 of my close family members COVID, so that sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned before.
Yeah,
You mentioned before about having a longer time to work on the album, and one of the things I've read is that you guys decided to work more on structure and things like that with some of the tracks. I was wondering if you could talk us through that and what made you come to that decision to mess around with things like structure and things like that.
Well, I mean, it was pretty grim for a while there, especially right when it started. I mean, we had a tour booked with Testament and Black Dahlia Murder, and then that just didn't happen, obviously. So we were really rushing to get the bulk of the record written before that tour, and it just, you know, obviously that didn't happen. And I think it was more of like, it wasn't really like, I don't know, it was more like something that we used as like a positive outlet from all the bullshit we were dealing with. All right, well, we can't work on a tour. Let's try to focus our energy into like making this the best record possible. And, but it was weird, you know, like it was like a month or two where we didn't even like talk about the record. We just were kind of scared, and not scared, but just freaked out about what was going on in the world. And it wasn't like, all right, well, what else are we gonna do? We kind of just like stopped talking about it. And it was weird, you know. It was a really fucking weird and confusing time, especially to be a musician or a person that works in a restaurant or any, you know. A lot of people were like just in limbo and confused for a while, and that's kind of where we were. So it wasn't like, whoa, all right, more time to work on the record. It kind of grew into that, and then it just kind of turned into like a positive thing, to like something to look forward to like focus your energy on, you know?
Yeah. Now I know you can't believe everything that you read, but I read that you guys actually weren't able to get together for about 12 months. Were you all writing the tracks separately and then getting together to record? Is that how it worked?
I think they were getting together. They were getting together separately, and then every once in a while they would all get together. But Ryan actually got COVID at band practice from his other band. So when that happened, everyone got sketched out again about practicing together. So, you know, there was a bunch of hiccups. But, yeah, like, for me, I don't live in Richmond anymore, unfortunately. Well, not fortunately for me, but it was unfortunate for writing the record. Well, we thought it would be, but it turned out to be a blessing because we kind of learned how to rework how we write songs together. And now it's cool and it's actually fun, and I have a really good time with just emailing the songs back and forth. And I have a practice set up here where I can practice our set and shit down here, like being away, so I don't have to keep flying up and going to band practice, which is what the original plan was. That I was just gonna keep flying to Virginia to practice like once a month. Thankfully, we figured out better ways, and we probably wouldn't have figured that out as fast if it weren't for like everything getting shut down like it did.
Talking of the songwriting, Electrified Brain is one of my favorites on the album, and that's the continuing story of the Death Ripper. Tell us a little bit about that track, because I understand that you absolutely love Ryan's lyrics on that track.
I like the lyrics on that one. My favorite one that he did lyrics for, he wrote lyrics for like 3 of the songs. But I like Grave Dive. That's my favorite one that he wrote lyrics for. That's another one I like.
What is it about that track that you love?
Grave Dive. Well, Grave Dive, the way we wrote that one, Electrified Brain, I came up with a concept for that song, and then Ryan did the lyrics, which is like kind of an addition onto like a storyline that we already had from previous albums. But Grave Dive was fun because that was actually both of us writing the lyrics. I wrote the first verse. It was kind of like a trade-off, you know, like when like the Beastie Boys or like rappers do, where they like, I'm gonna write my verse, you write your verse, you know what I mean? So we kind of did that and like went back and forth with each other, and he wrote like one of my favorite lines on the record on that song, which is because limbs hit the concrete, skulls scatter around, bones scatter around, skulls cracking quickly as they hit the ground. The body count rises each fan that we slay, adding grave divers each night that we play. He wrote that while he was like walking down the street with I Hate God in Germany or some shit. I was like texting him my lyrics, and he sent me that, and I was like, that's some funny shit. Because I like it because he like wrote it up. He wrote it like off the top of his head while he's like walking down the street looking for food.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Tony, I mentioned Electrified Brain being the continuation of the story of the Death Ripper. Where did the Death Ripper come from? Because I find that such a fascinating character.
It's kind of like that movie Shocker, or like it's kind of like based on a story similar to that. But if you see the music video that we did for the song Electrified Brain, Norman Cabrera kind of did his take on the storyline with his lyrics, or with our lyrics. He kind of made a short film about it. So, yeah, I mean, if you really want to just learn more, just like check out the video. It's definitely got like a really cool visual side to that storyline.
Definitely. Now, you recorded this time around with Arthur Rizek. Tell us a little bit about Arthur and what you feel he brought to the album as well.
Arthur's a brilliant, talented young guy, man, and he's kind of been on fire lately. He did so many good records like the Power Trip record and the Creator records. And, yeah, I don't know. I just really wanted to work with him because he had a good background with like punk and hardcore and metal. That's like all the shit we're into, obviously. But I really liked what sold me on him was I really liked what he did with the Sacred Reich record. I really liked the way the vocals sounded on that. I didn't want my vocals necessarily to sound like those, but I thought that he was very talented in like getting the sound that each band needed that he's recorded. So I had a feeling that it was going to be a good matchup, and I was right because I'm very happy with how it came out.
Yeah, the really interesting thing I find with this album is it's your old school sound, but it feels like you guys were willing to try new things. Like Crank the Heat has a real kind of doom groove kind of feel to it. Was that something that you guys talked about with this album, that you wanted to go in and try some new things?
Actually, no. I mean, if anything, that's probably just spawned from, especially that song in particular. That probably just spawned from like Nick having a little bit more freedom with writing, or just not even more freedom. We always let him do whatever he wanted, but I feel like he just got more comfortable with this record. He's only, this is only the second one he's done with us, so I feel like he had a little bit more breathing room and got a little bit more input, especially with like the time we all had to like make stuff. So that one in particular is one of my favorites because he, we almost threw that record, we almost threw that song out. That wasn't even going to be on the record, and we kind of pulled it out of the trash can and configured it and fixed it and made it to be what it is. And now it's one of my favorite songs on the record.
Awesome.
That one and Demoralizer too. Nick had a lot of input on that one. That was just those two songs. Those two songs weren't even supposed to be on the record, and they came out like to be two of the better songs. I feel like.
Yeah. So Tony, you mentioned that you guys are playing shows again now. What are your plans now that everything is opening back up again and the world is opening back up? Will you guys look to start playing in other countries soon as well?
That's the plan. I really want to get down to Australia because that's like my favorite place to tour. And every time I get down there, it seems like so much has changed and there's so much stuff going on down there. It's always fun. Man, it's been like 8 years now since the last time I was there. I feel like maybe 6. I don't know. It's been long, but yeah. Right now we have a 6-week long tour with Anthrax planned for Europe, and that's going to be us like dipping our toes in and seeing if we're going to be able to pull off doing a big tour like that. So overseas wise, and hopefully I don't get sick on the airplane like I did when I flew from Portland.
Definitely. And of course, I wouldn't be an Australian if I didn't ask you about your next beer coming from Three Floyds Brewing. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect with the next beer.
It's kind of like a lager. It's I think it's 6.5 alcohol percentage, and it's just a good like hang out outside and chug a beer outside, watch a show or something like that kind of beer. Not like the IPA super thick ones, which I don't mind, but I guess IPAs are better for the winter, which is y'all are in the winter right now. I'm in the summer right now. It's hot as shit here. But I hereby challenge a brewery in Australia to make a Municipal Waste beer because we haven't done that yet. That'd be really fun.
Oh, we've got some amazing brewers here in Australia as well that would definitely love that challenge, I reckon.
Yeah, holler at your boy. And because I always wondered, I felt like last time we went there was two things I noticed. First time we went there wasn't a lot of breweries, and there's bars and shit, but there wasn't like independent breweries. You know what I mean? Like we didn't see a lot of that.
Yep.
This is a fucking long time ago, and there wasn't a lot of hot sauce. And then when I came back the second time, I noticed it was starting to pop up. And not as much in the States, but it started to pop up the second time. So I'm assuming that this time there's probably a shitload of beer and hot sauce all over the fucking place there.
Definitely. Well, we've got a place near us, and I won't mention any names because they kind of make their own alcohol. They're actually an alcohol store, and they're a restaurant that you can go to as well and match up your favorite food with your favorite beers. But they have a little bit of a brewery out the back that they don't make too widely known, and that is some of the strongest beer and some of the strongest cider that you will ever drink. A couple of bottles of that, and you are gone.
I like the challenge. It sounds like you're trying to challenge me. Is what you're...
Well, mate, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. We'd love to show you some of the breweries that are around here now that have popped up over the last decade or so. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today. And I guess to finish up, what would you like to say to all of your Aussie fans out there before they sit down and take a listen to the album?
Oh, shit. Well, hope you fucking like it. Hope it fucking rips your face off. And if you saw us in the past or stuck around with us, we appreciate it. And thanks for all the support. And thanks for listening to this interview. Really appreciate it.
No